This week's episode of the Indian Dots podcast, we have discussed a number of cool issues. So, Karan went to Athens. What did he do? Why Nando's skins or Nando's sinks are important. Check that out and find out why. Also, he stopped hitting the table, or did he? You've got to listen to find out. You know, these are the daily dilemmas you are presented with. We're trying to add to your pile of to-do lists to do. Sweet. Also, car insurance, why it's important. Why getting to the cinema on time is important, because otherwise you get aggressive Karan. And no one likes aggressive Karan. Could be five Karan. Could be many different Karans. Who knows? And also why headaches are a big time issue, and they're not to be underestimated. But equally, don't take the piss. Don't just go to A&E randomly. Listen to the segment, understand the differences, and let us know if it helped you. Right, catch you through there. Laters. What's good, people? Welcome to this week's episode of the Indian Dots podcast. I'm back with Karan. He's back in the house. But Karan, keep your hands up. Keep them there. Don't hit the table, okay? Don't hit the table. This ain't funny. Don't do it. See, this is the thing you're now starting to understand. Thank you to JV, all right?
JV!
On YouTube, in our comments, saying, Doctor, please stop hitting the table. And I agree, but Doctor doesn't listen to me. He thinks I'm being difficult sometimes with my humble requests. However, he's now been shamed by everyone, and it makes me so warm inside to see this. So,
the
JV,
fans have spoken.
Thank you very much.
I also want to say a big thank you to JV. Thank you for commenting, bro. And you made it a really meaningful comment, which is what I really like. You engaged. You gave us some real tangible things that you enjoyed about the podcast, but you also gave us some things that you want to see and hear more of. So you mentioned about having a segment maybe on advice giving, and we did some when we answered a question a couple of weeks ago about toxic families. We are more than happy to give you our opinions, our thoughts on various things, because look, as brown, Punjabi, Asian, British people, we've been through a lot of the same things as you guys, listen to this podcast, and we're happy to share our thoughts on that. Just another point, what you were saying there, Indy, it's not that I ignore you, but you are really picky and really touchy about everything. So you're kind of like the boy who cried wolf. So it's hard to know whether you're just being Indy or if it's a genuine thing. So it's okay. You're not alone in that boat. Shindy has the same experience as well.
Very good. So you're basically saying I'm like a nagging wife. Okay, got it.
You're the work husband, wife, podcast wife, man.
Thanks. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. However, please don't hit the damn table. That's all I'm going to say. No more. Because when I was scrubbing through the episode for the last one that we did, I could hear you just thumping away when you were getting excited.
Do you know what was really funny?
And I'm sitting there like...
What's really funny is you sent it to me, and then I'm always like, where's the evidence? Show me whatever. And then you sent me the whole file, and then I was going to say give me the the sound bite clip, the point. But literally, I pressed play, and then I heard it within 2 seconds. I was like, okay, yeah, he's definitely right. I can hear this, and I was humbled. So my hands are on the chair now.
The bit that I said, good. The bit that I said was, Karan, you thumped the table throughout. I can't really give you a timestamp. Just listen to the first 5 minutes, and you will hear it.
Yeah. And that literally is what it was, and I was just like, okay, maybe he's got a point this one time. Okay.
I have many points. I'm normally correct a lot of the time. Just people don't like to listen to it.
We'll agree to disagree on that point. We'll take that point up with Sanj, and we'll see if you're actually really right or guys. That'll be a whole new segment. Okay, Indy's truth. Speak your truth.
What was Indy right this week?
Yes. Right. Oh, that's quite catchy. Was Indy right this week? I like that.
Was Indy right this week? Right? Question mark. There you go. Let's put the right in twice. Let's really mess people's head and make it sound horrible. Right. So horrible that people will memorize it. There we go.
Hanji.
But as you saw, you weren't here last week because, you were seeing other things while I was keeping things afloat. Thanks to Sharoy for joining. Hopefully he's listening to this week. Yeah, man, proper top guy. Doctor, I hope you get to listen to that and here's some things. Give me your feedback on it, man, because I learned a lot of him in that hour and 15 and just genuinely how much of a nice guy he is and how he's committed to human rights stuff. Guys, if you haven't listened to it, please do check it out. You won't regret it. It's only an hour and 15. It's probably one of our shorter guest ones, and
Hmm.
I thought it was out of 15 of pure quality, but I'm biased because I ran the thing. So yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Goran, how was Athens?
Athens is wonderful, my friend. Surprising, it's like October, end of October when we were there. Guess the temperature. What was the temperature, Indy, when I was there? Give me a range.
Ooh. When you left here?
No, no, in Athens, in Greece. What's the temperature?
Oh, ooh, okay. So Athens is like, I'm looking at a map now actually. Well, whereabouts is Greece on here?
Oh, you've actually got a map that you're looking at now, isn't it?
So is Greece actually? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, fine, fine, fine. I can see it there. I know where
But
Greece
your
is. Yeah, so
your
it's
your
like
map, does it have
kind of
countries
close
on
to,
it?
kind of close to Turkey. No, but Sandra's been to Greece, so it's all labeled. So it's one of the things that are labeled, and I'm looking at the
Ah,
area of it, and I'm like, yeah,
nice,
that'll do.
nice.
So there you go. Yeah, okay, I can see it. So I'd say
Okay.
about 26, 27 degrees.
Bang on, mate. Bang on. 25 to 30 degrees. Not really touching 30, but yeah, well done. Indy's right this week. Indy is right. You've been validated, mate.
Indy is right, right?
That's it. Right, right. Hanji, hanji. Okay, okay. So we got there, and then one of the people there, kind of like the local tour guys, was it? Or the taxi guy, he was like, we called this our little summer, this kind of month in this period. And it was beautiful because it wasn't particularly
Really?
humid. So the sun was out, really nice breeze. We landed, we checked into our Airbnb, and we get a little bit hungry before we, went out. We had a play booked the first night, which was under the Acropolis. So Acropolis is one of the most important things in Athens to see, but the Acropolis actually means the highest point in the city. So every city back in the day, every Greek city would have an Acropolis, but this is the most important Acropolis, right? And that's where the two temples of Athena is a god of knowledge, sit at the top. Anyway, so we're going for a play at the bottom. Question. Indy's got a question. Go.
I raised my hand to stop interjecting you. I think it's easier in this way, so I'll do this from now on. Maybe you can do the same. So,
Okay.
is that where the word metropolis comes from? Because
Hmm.
polis at the end, and I'm assuming Greece is where everything was first. Came up with, I don't know,
Yes.
modern language. So maybe
Yes.
Acropolis, metropolis, similar.
Yeah, you fused two words there. You fused Acropolis and apocalypse there. You went I don't know what you said there.
No, 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 not apocalypse.
Yeah, you said
What's the
apocalypse.
word? Shit, metropolis. That's it.
No,
My
Metropolis is
fault.
fine.
I'm getting
Yeah,
mixed up,
yeah.
man.
Acropolis. Yeah, yeah, you're right though. And actually, when
Apocalypse,
we were
Acropolis. Yeah.
you're doing it now, aren't you? Yes, it probably does. There are a lot of words that
Yeah.
we use today which are rooted in Greek words, and we learned loads. So, pandemic, pan meaning whole world. That's a good one.
Mm.
What else did we learn? See, when you really need it, you can't think about it. But there were loads of words. Philia.
It
So
just evaporates,
philia is
doesn't
a
it,
good
Goran?
one.
Yeah.
It does philia. So we say something like hydrophilia, which is water loving. So philia, the word is from the Greek word to love. So yeah, loads of words like that. But anyway, on the first day, so we've checked into Airbnb and we want to get some food. We walk down from Airbnb. Opposite, we've got this little like Tesco Express type thing, their version. So that's awesome. So we did a little food shop. But we had like a kebab place, like at the bottom, like 2 minutes down. So we had this food called souvlaki.
Okay.
So souvlaki is basically a kebab, a Greek kebab. So naan wrapped in
Greek
there.
food,
We
yeah.
had so instead of like the pork, they have the what do you call it? Gyros, but spelt like with a G. But they drop the G in Greece when you pronounce it. And it was just fantastic food, man. The portions are great. Everything comes with tzatziki. So tzatziki, you've had tzatziki before?
Tzatziki's nice. Yeah, yeah, I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. It's
So
like a
guys,
dip.
it's like a dip, like a Dane-based thing with cucumber, but it's just much nicer than if you make it at home with like Dane and cucumber. And they have it with everything, man. Olives, so many olives there. And so Greece was just, the food is wonderful. They have a lot of salads, and their salads are excellent. Like the salads themselves, you're like, I'm happy just eating the salad. Obviously, had a lot of Greek yogurt as well. Had that with honey and nuts. So food on point, weather on point, people on point, and loads of history, man. Like one thing we learned, which will blow people away, or definitely blew me away, is so I've been to Rome, I've been to Italy a lot, and I've seen a lot of the architecture and things there. The Romans copied the Greeks, right? So the origin story,
Oh,
everything, yes. So the origin story is actually the Greeks, right? So you see everything and you think, oh, that looks like Roman architecture. No, it's Greek architecture that the Romans have copied. For example, the Pantheon, right, in Rome. So kind of the shape like that, and you got the columns. It's all based on kind of Greek structure, and the sculptures in the way they would sculpt, like the nude men and they stand like this, like David and all these
Well,
things.
with the little willies. Yeah.
Little wiener with a little plant over it. Yeah. So again,
Tiny little wiener. Yeah.
okay, you're really fixated on that. I don't know why, but that's of Greek origin as well.
I can tell you why after, but yeah, go on.
I don't really want to know, mate. That's TMI. You tell Sanj why.
No, you do. You'll be very surprised why I know that.
Okay, fine. One thing they did tell us is if you ever want to tell the difference between a Greek and a Roman sculpture, is look at which foot is forward. Left foot forward.
Willy.
Oh my! Why are you fixated on this thing, man? This is not a dirty podcast, okay? You need to stop. So left foot forward, Greek. Right foot forward, Roman. So that was a nice little thing.
Interesting.
But yeah, buddy, it was nice. It was Mum's birthday, so we did a load of excursions, ate loads of great food, a lot of gelato. Yeah, segueing. That was one of the highlights. We've segued before, kind of in forestry. This is segueing around the city with ruins. Mum and Dad had never done it before. Mum took to it really naturally. Dad was like, no, I'm not going on this. He's really concerned he's going to fall over. But then once he got the swing of things, he was loving it, man. And it's kind of like when you're on a Segway and then you go back to walking afterwards, you feel like, you're poor or something and walking is not good enough. Because when you're on the Segway, you're going through and people saluting you and they make way for you. And, it's pretty cool, man. So yeah, Athens is super awesome, man.
Thinking you're a royalty or some shit.
Yeah, pretty much. I was there, my backpack on, my shorts on, looking all fly with my Leonidas beard. And I was there like, this is Sparta everywhere. When we were in the Airbnb, we were watching like Greek-based films. Yeah, just before you come in. So we showed Dad 300. We watched Troy. What else did we watch? We watched the other one, Gladiator. We were just like, yeah, we're going to watch all these kind of films. Go on, question.
So, two things. Number one, when you were walking around in shorts, backpack, were you looking like Indy Karan, the one that, wore those really unflattering shorts, not looking stylish at all? Is that how you were looking?
You mean the 3/4 ones, which I am no longer in possession of. So I used to, yes. Guys, if you don't know, I used to have these cargo style or combat style 3/4 black things. I think I saw Jay-Z wear once at a performance and I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that as well. But I've come to the realization, men who are listening to this podcast, 3/4 are never okay. They're never flattering. There is no way you can wear 3/4 and look cool. So no, indeed, I was wearing green olive shorts, and obviously been working on my legs. So I got my Bhangra legs back, got my Bhangra bum back, which is nice. Not had that for the last 5 years. So yeah, man, I was happy. Shindy was very happy. So yeah. What was your second question?
Very good. I am very proud of you. Second question was, you went all the way to Greece to go and watch Greek films, even though you can watch anything in the world, but you wanted to watch Greek films in Greece. Why?
Yeah, because we'd gone out all day and we'd learned about, Athens. It's not Athens. We learned about Troy, right? We learned about Achilles. And it's nice. And then you come back and then you watch something. You're like, oh, I've been there. So it kind of relates to while you're there. So remember, we've done everything in the day. This is kind of like a chill out time. We didn't sit there in the middle of the day and watch films. This is like, we've had food, we've come back. Oh, I didn't tell you, we did some Greek dancing as well. That was interesting. So some locals are teaching us how you basically go arm in arm, shoulder in shoulder, right? And then you go like this to the side. And it's kind of like, think of the legs we do for Punjab. But over and we cross like that, right? But this is like you keep going to one side, then you go to the other side, and then you do a hoppa like this, and then hoppa, and it's just really normal. Like we're in a random restaurant on a Friday night, 11 o'clock at night, and random people just start dancing. Like they have live music and they just start dancing. And I was like, this vibe is just—that's
pretty awesome, cool. Man.
Very cool, very cool. Like I said, people are awesome. Nice. If you're thinking about going to Athens, guys, definitely go, man. It's just awesome.
Was it a holiday? Because it doesn't sound like a holiday. You said this. I said, how was holiday? You're like, it wasn't a holiday.
Yeah, this is a good point. I'm going to delineate this word now because Shindy and I are actually going on a holiday soon. A holiday is relaxation. What we went on is exploration. That is the best word I can use to describe this now. And actually, we are notorious for doing this. So we have a lot more explorations than holidays. So explorations being packed itineraries, multiple walking tours, multiple excursions, limited sleep. On reflection, when Kenny and we did the itinerary, looked at it, if we swapped one thing around, it would have made it a lot easier. For example, when we got there on the Friday, we got like a 6 a.m. flight, which means getting to Luton for like 3 a.m., which means leaving the house at 1 a.m. So when we got there, we were super knackered. And then we had a really early excursion on the Saturday morning. Had we done the afternoon excursion Saturday, done the early on Sunday, that would have made all the difference. But yes, our exploration went really well. But I'm looking forward to a holiday. So I'm going to Matera soon. I think I've told you about this. So Matera is the city, the opening scene of the last Bond film. So it's the city of caves. People live there for the last 9,000 years. Third oldest city in the world. Now, there is nothing to do there, man. I've been on Get Your Guide. I've looked at what you can do excursion-wise. We're going to do the Bond excursion, and we're going to do a walking tour, and that's it. So we're just going to eat, walk around, sleep, enjoy. We've got like a jacuzzi inside the bedroom. So, yeah. Happy days.
Sorted. So basically, you're going to be working on podcast stuff. Great. I can't wait to hear about it. Thank you.
I'm going to, I'm going to be, no, I don't mind. I'm going to be in such a creative space. An hour a day, take my laptop, beautiful scenery, and I'm just, I'll bang it out, man. I don't mind that. I really like the idea. I like the idea of being on holiday and doing a little bit of work each day. Even if it's an hour, that makes me feel productive. Trying to do nothing every day is not achievable, which is why I like exploration so much. What do you say?
It's impossible to do nothing each day and without getting, like me and you, we do a lot of stuff on the side, like whether it's a podcast, whether it's side hustle, whatever. We have other things going that we need to keep ticking. So to sit and do nothing the whole holiday is very difficult. I can do things in the morning, make sure nothing's on fire, and then make sure everything's okay, and then leave it for the day if things are obviously ticking over. That's my way of like, not coping, but keeping my head in the game.
Yeah, I like that analogy. Exactly that, man. And productivity, feeling productive for me is really important. So whether that's in work life or on exploration life, I want to be seeing things, I want to try things, I want to do things. You sprinkle that with a bit of spontaneity. I love a bit of spontaneity. So like, oh man, should we go and do this now? Should we do this? Should we do this? It's just, it's cool, man. Oh, I got.
You don't like spontaneity. Where did that come from?
I said sprinkled with spontaneity. So that means you've planned out excursions, but now you've freed up like an hour, or something's finished early. Not complete spontaneity, sprinkling of spontaneity. Cherry on the cake, the smallest part of the cake.
Guys in the comments.
Go.
People in the comments.
Yes.
Please let me know if you would like me and Goran's missus to plan a holiday for just Shindy to go completely wild, plan spontaneous stuff, have nothing planned, and genuinely see how you react and see if you accept it. Please let us know, because I'm actually interested in trying the social experiment and then hear him come back and tell me his experiences.
I see. You know, Shindy doesn't plan anything in life, but when it comes to planning holidays, she becomes, the steroid version of me on Google Calendar. You know that, right?
I didn't know that. I thought
you didn't know that. No. When it comes to the holidays, you're not allowed to breathe, man. It's like every second is accounted. Every microsecond is accounted for. We have finished this excursion. What is next now? Get there. How can I fill this time so completely? How can I see everything that has ever been seen in this country in 5 days? That's Shindy's approach to holidays. She is Captain Scott when he went to the North Pole, right? She is Mrs. Explorer. Okay. But in general, she's not very organized. Yeah.
How can you say that and then say, in general, she ain't organized?
Yeah, not in the UK. UK.
I just feel like she likes living life on the edge a bit.
Yeah, UK, she kind of leaves it to me, and I keep it in check. And then she steps out of line when she starts formatting on my Google Calendar. I've given her own calendar, but she doesn't use it, so she just likes using mine. But
the amount of people that have actually messaged saying your Google Calendar is out of hand makes me feel warm inside, knowing that I am not alone in thinking that you are possessive a little bit over it.
Yeah. I accept that. I'm not going to defend that.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
That is
good.
Productive. I'm very proud.
Good. Very good. Cool.
Yes.
Do you want my second observation? Non-Athens observation?
Of course I do. Go ahead.
Nando's sinks are genius. Okay? I'm not going to talk about Nando's food. Food is excellent. You know I love the food. You know it's our kind of staple. If all else fails, Nando's, always good. Right. But here's the thing, man. Pure Gym, hotels, all these things. You go to these places, right, and you go to wash your hands. And you try and wash your hands, and a bad sink is when like your hands are like touching the sides when you're trying to wash them. You really can't get it under the tap, right? Or you have to like really, like there's no pressure coming out of the water, or it's hard to get the soap. Like they really haven't thought about it. Like Pure Gym is terrible. They've had a new change room put in, and it's got this sink which is like on an angle, it's on a slant. There's no water pressure. There's all shit everywhere. You can't get your hand underneath. I'm like, what is the point of
And
this?
if you try and press the pressure at the top, you push it down, and it turns on for like 5 seconds, and it turns off. I'm like, this is not enough time for me to lather my hands.
Yeah. You're doing that thing again, man. Lather. Is it lather or lather? Ethernet. I found someone that's...
No, it's lather. No.
No.
Lather. Do not do this. Do not do this. You are taking this too far. Okay. It is lather. Lather.
All right, Ethernet. Ethernet, man. You're American. It's Ethernet,
everyone
baby.
Says Ethernet.
No, you say it and Bal says it. Okay. That's not everyone, okay? I have my contractors around. They were like, it's obviously
I'm yet
Ethernet.
to hear anyone say anything different in the comments. So tell me. And tell you what,
contractors,
next time I see a bunch of people, I'm going to do a poll.
No. You're asking
market research.
You're asking the wrong people. Ask professionals, people that do network cabling. What do they say? Ethernet,
Why
baby.
You mean
okay? That's got nothing
Why
to do with
classes?
it. Why would you ask the wrong person to ask the word? It's like asking you to say a medical word. Why would I ask you? Doesn't make any sense.
You mean like how you did? And you're like, oh, floppy dog rule. Yeah.
No. But you're a pharmacist. But exactly. So you got the wrong. Exactly. You said it the wrong way.
I'm not a pharmacist. I'm the son of a pharmacist.
You're the son of a pharmacist.
Okay.
You've worked there. You know. Anyway, yes. And the problem with Pure Gym is you then have to have one hand pressed on and then wash one hand at a time. It's just stupid. Now, Nando's. Here is the genius of Nando's.
How do you wash your hands?
You can wash your hands without going to the bathroom. That's the first clever thing. So next to where you get your sauces and your drinks, they always have a wash unit, right? The wash unit is surgical. It is surgical, man. It's something we would use, well, not me specifically, but when I did my surgical placements, before you scrub in and put your gowns on, right? It's that kind of level. It's so deep. The water flow is good. The pressure is good. You can get your elbows, arms underneath it if you really wanted to, right? And you can properly wash your hands. And I was there the other day. I was there on Monday, and I was just like, I'm going to talk about this on the podcast. This is genius. They've clearly looked at hand hygiene, and they've got it right. So Nando's, well done. Please teach everyone else. Look at this. This is how you should be installing your hand washing basins. Rant over.
Good. I'm very happy for you that Nando's are doing things correctly. Can I do a quick confession? When you wrote this, obviously, for context on people, I love using the word context. I've noticed this now. To give a bit of a, not insight. Is it insight, context? I don't know. Comment. Tell me what the hell I should be saying here. To tell people how this works, Goran and me, we write down our topics that we want to talk about to each other in like a little sheet, and then we'll look at it. I took a quick scan of this, and I thought it said Nando's skins. So I thought it said like skin on the chicken, and I'm like, wow, Goran's really scraping the barrel here for topics this week. He's excited about skins on chicken. Cool. And now you said sinks, I feel a bit silly, but yeah.
Right, guys, so if you think Indy needs glasses, then just please comment below. And so basically that's what we do.
It's been a while.
What, since you're an eye test? Don't go for the eye test.
Man, my sister's probably going to hear this and have a go at me.
Don't do it. They blow that air in your eye, man. Yeah. No. It's not worth it. Not worth it, man. That's what we do, guys. We go through our week and we observe things. So I become much more observant because of the podcast. And I write it down. I'm like, oh, that would be good to talk about on the podcast. That would be good.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. And just to give you a bit more of an insight, the famous Just Rain, who's, I don't know where he is at the moment, but when I met him in Birmingham, and we went out for dinner at Pizza Express, we started talking about something which actually featured in his video. And I'm actually in the end of the video, just giving you a little thing there. When he
What's
gets an
the video
idea,
called?
Desi People and Health.
There you go. The end of the
There
video
you
is like a 1 second thing. Press pause and look at Garen's little
go.
baby face. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Proper baby face with a paratha in my hand, metheli paratha in my hand. He, so we were talking about something. He goes, "Whoa, good idea!" And he just pulls out his little black book and he just writes down his ideas. And I was like, "Oh, okay, this is how the pros do it, man." And so Indy and I, we're one level up, man. We got online book, Google Sheet, baby. Although
There you go.
we're changing that soon, aren't we? We're going to Notion. Is that right? Notion.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. I'm in the progress.
Figures it out. Yeah.
Progress. I'm in the process of trying to get this all sorted.
Do you know there's weird people up north that say progress, Indy?
Progress. I understand both.
No, progress. Not progress, not project. It's not the project, is it? Project.
Project.
The process. Project. Is it the process?
I feel like that's a southern thing. I don't think it's a northern thing.
Northern, baby. Well, it might be. The people I've met have all been northern. A lot of builders, and they keep saying it. The project and the process.
Builders don't talk like that.
Yeah, man. The ones I deal with do. These are high level builders.
You're dealing with some weird builders, man. I
not
your
desi builder. I'm on about the guy who runs the whole building thing.
Yeah, but I don't think he's from up north then. Has he got a northern accent?
Yeah, he's from Teesside.
Like Scouse, Mancunian, Geordie.
Teesside.
Geordie.
He's the only one I know that does.
I'm shocked.
From there.
I would never have thought that.
There you go. So
okay. Is this like your Ethernet example again? Everyone says Ethernet. All people up north say this.
I've told you, networking professionals say Ethernet. Okay? End of discussion. End of discussion.
Networking professionals.
You and Bal say Ethernet.
I'm going to reach out to IT tomorrow.
Must be a Kara thing.
I'm going to reach out to IT tomorrow.
Kara thing.
At work, and I'm going to say IT. What's this?
Yeah.
What's this? What's this?
Yeah. What's this called? What's it called?
Most people who work in IT are actually
tar,
Punjabi. So if I say tar, they'll understand what the fuck I mean. Okay.
आ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਤਾਰ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਆ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈ Okay, cool.
There you go. All right, jump out. Next segment. See you there in a sec. Welcome to another episode of the Confessions of a Married Man. Doctor, please enlighten us with your confession of the week.
So, for 2 weeks in a row, the confession is about Shindy. Now, this is dangerous, man. I did say when we started this segment, this shouldn't be a segment about where we complain about our wives and other halves. But it just happens to be so that the confession is about Shindy. So, we went to watch Black Adam. I don't generally watch that many DC films, but this was a good film. I enjoyed it. There was a nice little teaser at the end, what's coming next as well. So that was good. Anyway, so we're going to go to cinema. It's a 7:30 show. In general, if it's a 7:30 show, I know that at Star City Birmingham, the show will not commence for at least 18 minutes. So I've spoken to management there multiple times. Like I've spoken to a person who knows, right?
Yes,
I know the exact minutes. 18 minutes. That's the number, right?
Hold on.
Go.
Hold on. You asked the minute timings of when the cinema will run from start to dimming lights.
Who am I?
Who thinks of that? Genuinely. No one thinks of that. Most people think, roughly half an hour.
It's never half an hour. 20 minutes is closer. But I just like to know, I'm very specific. Like when I put Black Adam into the calendar, because I know Shindy's going to look at it at some point, the start time will be there, as in the listed start time, 7:30 at this point, and the end time as well. So we can work out where we're going to get food as well. So that has to be in the Google Calendar. But I know a calculation in my head, the actual 18 minutes. Now the reason, okay, let me give you context further. Why do I need to know that? Because Shindy is always late. That's why. I don't want to miss the start of the film. Right? So here's the thing. So we get late, right? And then when I say late, like we should leave the house at 7. I want to be there at 7:15. Early is on time. Always in our house, right? Early is on time. Something I learned from Dad. The whole desi thing about Punjabi people. You get to the party super early, even when they're like family. We're there super early, like even when the family's not really there, and they're just like setting up the whole. Example, we went to one of our friends' pre-wedding parties, and we ended up helping them set up. So yeah, that's how early we get there. Anyway, so we're supposed to leave at 7. We left at 10 past 7. There was a crash on the M6, slowed things down. I was like, Shindy, look at the ETA. It's red. Google Maps is saying red. We're going to be at 19:31. This is not good. Got to find parking. So I'm thinking about all these things. So we get there. The traffic clears. We get there, I don't know, like 19:27. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Now, here's the thing. We are late. It is your fault. Because it's your fault, you should forego...
Whose fault?
I placed my hands on the table. I'm going to bring them up. I was just about to start tapping. I think it's when I get angry. It's when I get angry.
Yeah.
It's when I start talking about Shindy.
Yes, it is.
My hands. So hands are on the chair now. So, because you are late, because we are late, because you have made us late, right? Ownership being there. Then you should forego any other secondary pleasure you seek from the cinema. Secondary pleasure being snacks. Toilet. Well, if you need to go toilet, you need to go toilet. Ooh. So Shindy goes, right, I want to get...
Whoa, I was going to say, to say, do toilet breaks count? Is that a luxury or is that a fucking need?
Well,
okay.
This is the thing, man. You need to plan better, man. Okay? So I'm like... So she wants a sundae. And I'm like, do we have time for a sundae? There's obviously a line. Then they got to make the sundae. And Star City staff aren't the quickest, man. Like this is leisurely when they do it. Right? So then it's like, okay, so no, I want a sundae. I'm like, okay, you get in line for the sundae. I'm going to the bathroom because I actually need a bathroom. Right? I've still got my 18-minute timer in my head. Come back out. Shindy's at the front of the line. Ordering the sundae. I'm like, fine, cool. Paid for it. Done. She's like, oh, actually, I want to go to the toilet as well. I was like, excuse me, you want to be late and then you want ice cream and you want to use the bathroom. I was like, this is just too much, man. I was like, no. Obviously, I can't say no, but this is all going on in my head, man. I'm like, you need to factor this in. If you want to do, let's take the toilet out. You can go to the toilet whenever you want. But if you want to have snacks and all that kind of stuff, 19:15, be there. Be there 15 minutes before the listed time. Be in the cinema, inside the screen, even before the lights turn on and all the trailers are coming on. Okay, that is on time. Then Jazz, me, Karan, Doctor, is fully relaxed in my place of peace, right? But I hate absolutely with a passion being late for a film. It is not acceptable. So yeah, that is my confession. I feel a lot better now. Thank you for letting me share.
Are these tickets pre-bought?
Baby, VIP in the middle of the middle.
So you pre-bought the tickets?
Yeah. Do you know what? And then I still see people. This is 2022, man. They're buying the snacks and they're buying cinema tickets and they're picking the seats. It's like, come on, bro. You need to be pre-booking. Like, who doesn't pre-book when they go to cinema? Do you pre-book when you go to cinema, Indy?
People who live spontaneously do that. Something you wouldn't understand.
Clearly. Do you pre-book or not pre-book?
Sometimes I mix it up. Most of the time I actually don't book. I just go there and try and see it. Especially if it's a film like Black Adam, it's not going to be fucking sold out, is it?
But it's not.
And if we are late, hypothetically, I can just catch the next one after.
No. You can catch the next one after if it's a film which is showing every 15 minutes. If it's like every hour, bro, you can't catch the next one. So that's point number one. Point number two, you're right. It's not going to be full, but for me, it's not about not being full. It's I want the best seats in the house. I want to be middle of the middle. Okay, so because I want to be middle of the middle, I know exactly when to book. Yeah. Look, I've because we've got a cinema room. I know in terms of like head height, right, where you should be in the screen. Like back in the day, what did everyone think? Oh, we sit at the back of the cinema. That's the best seat. It's never the best seat, right? Yeah. The best seat generally is going to be in the middle because your eye line is correct. And so, yes, although the seats might be sold out, I like knowing that I've secured the seats that I want to sit in. Yeah.
Well, okay. In a way, I kind of agree with you, but also, it's cool. Like, it's not the end of the world if we're late for the film. I know you got in on time because I saw Shindy's Instagram story, and it was the starting part of the film.
That's a normal thing that she does.
So I was like, well, clearly,
no, we always make it on time. It's never that. I always allow buffer time, but I don't like the. I don't like the pressure of.
Anxiety.
Anxiety is probably a strong word. I'm putting a lot of hyperbole in on this for dramatic effect, but it is my confession this week. And if there's one thing Shindy should improve on is timekeeping. This extends to when we're going to wedding parties and you never get ready on time, and I have to bribe the makeup artist to get you ready quicker. So yeah.
Really? You actually do that? You bribe them more?
I don't bribe it, but it's like I know when things are bad. It's when I ask Shindy how long she's gonna be, and Shindy doesn't reply, and the makeup artist replies, and I'm like, oh, because the makeup artist thinks
What
no,
does the
she'll say
makeup
whatever,
artist
but
say?
she's like, oh, Garan can't shout the makeup artist, so she lets the makeup artist reply. I'm like, this is a good strategy. This is a good strategy. So
No, I'd be like, I would say to her, hurry up and just skip a couple of steps. Like, it's fine. That's
yeah,
still
like
pretty
your
fun.
wedding, you know, like we were again.
Yeah, I remember. Skip a couple of steps.
We got to your
Let's go.
wedding, what I perceived to be on time, still super early, so early that we went and chilled at Sanj.
Yeah,
Yeah. But that was
very
on time for
early.
me, man. Like, I think we were there at like 9 o'clock, 8:45. You know, generally, what time does the boy come? 9 o'clock. But obviously, I know you were on time, and there were other factors that mitigated you arriving on time. It wasn't your fault. I know. It's fine.
She still holds it over me,
Yeah, she
man.
should. It's fine. um,
For the rest of my life, she's gonna hold it over
yeah.
me.
So that is my confession. My confession is that,
Like it's my fault.
yeah, it's
Mm.
ultimately your responsibility. Although it's not direct. It's
It's
direct.
not
It's
my
not
fault.
directly. It's
It's not
not
my
directly your
responsibility.
fault.
At that point,
Mm,
you have dealt with so
mm,
many problems
mm.
in the run up to the wedding. On the wedding day yourself, you think to yourself, is this worth
Yes.
fighting over, or do I just fucking let it go? And at
Let
that
it
point, you're like,
go. Let
I'm
it
gonna let it go.
go.
Genuinely, that is how I felt. When my dad started pulling up random people
That's
to
it.
come and do a mini,
Yes.
I was like,
Yes.
let it go.
You were
It's
like,
fine.
yeah, bro.
Fine.
That's
Fine.
it.
There's no point. I was there like, if Sandra's here, she'd be losing
Mm.
it right now. But it's fine. Don't worry. She ain't here. She's upstairs, hidden away, looking through the window.
And then remember in your wedding,
And she was there like, why are things
remember the
going?
other wedding that was happening on the same day as your wedding, but the boy didn't come till like midday or something.
Yes.
That's late. That's
Yeah.
that's
One
it.
back from
That's it.
Birmingham.
That's it. That was
Yeah.
you, man. Before, but you clever man. You came the day before. There you go. There you go.
Could have
Clever
been me.
wonder.
No, still late apparently.
Anywho,
But anyway, let's
your
move the
confession.
topic forward. So,
Yes.
my confession is don't buy car insurance from anyone online. Genuinely, it is worth the hassle of paying a premium. I found this out the hard way.
Okay.
So, Goran, the car is in my mum's name.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to take the insurance out under her name and then add me as a named driver, add Sanj as a named driver. Yeah. Cool. I had an accident 3 years ago. Mum had an accident. No, 4 years ago. Mum had an accident 4 years ago as well. No,
It's
Mum had
5
an
years,
accident
isn't it?
3 years ago. So me
Yeah.
4, Mum 3. Yeah, it's within the 5-year window. I've also got points from 4 years ago.
Ooh. No,
That's still on my
four comes off.
license. No, it's 5. Comes off after
Are you
5.
sure?
I
Did you check with
checked it,
DVLA?
yeah,
Because
yeah.
I just
So mine come up in
okay. I just checked it
2023.
with Shindy. And
So
yeah, go on.
I'll go through the steps, but the way that you check it is you type in your driving license onto
That's
the
it.
DVLA website, and not even the DVLA website, just type in driving license check into Google. It takes
That's
you to the
it.
Gov website. In that, you put in your license and
Yep.
national insurance number. Then it will tell you the amount of points you've got, any spent convictions, whatever. So you write that down when you put your insurance through. Now, I do mine through
Yeah,
Compare the
same.
Market. When you do Compare the Market, it stores your
Yes.
details from last year, and then you
Edit.
can just update
Yeah,
it
yeah,
quickly
yeah,
and
yeah.
ping it through.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Exactly what I do.
Edit, change, get rid of, delete, whatever.
But
But I had issues because I thought the car was in my dad's name. So I put the details through for my dad and deleted all my mum's
Hi.
details. Then I had to re-add my
Hi.
mum's details. That was a problem. So it took me the best part of like a full morning on a Sunday to sort this out.
Full
Got it all
morning.
done. Eventually, yeah. So I'm like, this is not how I wanted to plan my Sunday morning, but all right, sweet. So I'm planning it all, getting it all done, typing in the internet info, and what do I come across? Because I put in the details with my mum saying she only had 1 year's no claims bonus, the price is sky high. It's like about $1,000. And I'm like, okay.
For
shit, $1,000,
context,
that's a lot.
what was your insurance last year?
So I then have to,
What was it last year?
yeah.
roughly?
It was 600-ish.
Yep.
About 600.
But now it's coming around a K. Okay.
So it ballooned because I changed cars midway through the year, so I got added on to my mum's insurance on her
Right.
previous company. But when they gave her the reissued update this year, they jacked the price up. So she thought, all right, leave it, let's change it, let's go to a different place, have a look. I did. So it came to about $1,000. I managed to find a company that did it for 900, 800. It was like 880. The company's called Boom Insurance, which is not a very good name for an insurance
Boom boom.
company, really. But I thought, okay, all of these ones listed. Yeah, all these ones listed. 3 of them wanted to put a box in my car.
Black box.
I'm not doing that. I did that in my first car. I'm not doing it again. Black box is horrible, man. They're just going to sit there and just penalize me for everything. And especially how my dad says, you must clean out a diesel car every 4 months by putting your foot down and over revving it 4,000 revs, fourth gear on the motorway for like 4 miles to clean out the engine. And you know what? He's right. It does work. It cleans out the catalytic converter in the car. So, yeah, if I did that with the black box, it would probably explode and jack up my insurance even more. So, no, let's not do that. Yeah, literally, boom, to my insurance premium. So, I take it all out with them and I join them. They then say, you got to give us your details in the next 14 days. You got to give us like proof of license, proof of address. You got to put everything into the system. And I'm like, most companies don't do that. They tend to take it at face value. But all right, cool. So I put it through and I'm thinking, well, let me just call them. Can't call them. Online only.
Alarm
Live
bells.
chat only. I'm like, this is going to be problematic. But I thought, you know what? I've got enough lead time. It's given me 14 days. I'll get this done. No issues. I sent it off in day 1. Got all my documents together. Sent it. Boom. Boom. I sent it. See what I did there? Now, pinged it off. Comes back. No reply. Nothing. And my mum then finds her no claims discount. And it's 4 years. It's not 1 year. So which means the price I paid is overinflated. I've got to bring it down now. Yeah. Got to pull down the price, which means you give it to them. You say, well, it's 4 years. Give me a rebate. They said, yeah, we'll look at it. No reply. 7 days go by. I then get an email saying your insurance is going to be cancelled in 7 days' time. And I said, what did I do?
Which insurance? The new one?
So they said you haven't provided the details.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the new one. Yeah, and they said you haven't provided the documents. I said, no, I sent the documents on this date here. Sent it off to them. No reply. So I jump on live chat. And it was close to your Fiverr encounter, Karan. That's how bad
Rage.
it got. You know how you were raging at that person on Fiverr? I was close to raging to this person on Boom because they were being shit. They weren't saying anything. I said, what's the problem? They said, well, the records here say that you haven't provided documents. I said, here's a screenshot of the documents. I've sent it to you guys. Well, I don't monitor that email address, so I can't comment. Okay. And she said, so you need to send the documents. I said, well, I've sent it. Is there a problem with them? And she said, I don't know. It might be a problem with it, but send it again. I said, well, what's sending it again going to achieve? That's not going to change anything. How do I know in 7 days' time my insurance isn't going to be cancelled? Then what? And I said, can you give me some insight on what's missing? No, that's the underwriting department. Screw this. So I thought, you know what? I can't trust you now because if I'm going through a claim and something goes wrong, you're not going to have my back. You're going to be thinking about yourself. So therefore, I want to cancel the insurance.
Yeah.
So I said to her, cancel the
insurance. So you can.
And she said, okay. Yeah. I said, cancel the insurance. She said, why? I said, because this is really shit service. Like, I can't do anything with this. This is absolutely unbelievable. I can't call you. You won't call me. You can't give me a straight answer with what's wrong. I've given you all my documents. All of them are in date. That's what she said. She said something along the lines of, the proof of address you've given me is not valid within the last 30 days. I said, it is, but it expires in 5 days' time because I gave it to you within the month and now the window's getting shorter. So if I resend that and it gets processed on the 7th day, it's then out of date. I'm like, this is getting long now. I don't like it. So cancelled the insurance, got it back, went online, reprocessed all the details again with 4 years no claims discount, and it came through as cheaper as those guys, and I went with Churchill. So moral of the story, go with the company you actually trust. And look at Trustpilot, because when I looked at Trustpilot after I joined these guys, all the reviews were terrible. I'm now on them as well, saying everything's terrible about this company. Don't do it. And yeah, all of them were like, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And I was like, okay, well, I've just added to that lovely fire that is commencing on the skip on Trustpilot. So there you go. Churchill, everything all green. Everyone's commented back. And when I called them on the phone, they dealt with my claim. Not claim.
Query.
They dealt with my insurance quote because it had a bit of a glitch in the system. They put it through within minutes. It was like, bam, done.
They got the
They don't
manpower.
fuck around. And they don't want any proof of details to that level.
They've got the manpower.
Yeah.
You pay it because, you know, they've got the staff to do it. You pay cheaper sometimes. And actually with these companies, like I had one for my Audi a couple of years ago. It was called Pucker, right? But again, the company is one, but the company that actually underwrites is generally a different company. And again, with Pucker, I had to...
Yes.
What?
Yes. I saw this underwriting shit and it really
Yeah.
threw me off because I'm like, hang on, why aren't you underwriting this? And then that rings alarm bells in my head. I'm like, no, that doesn't
No,
sound right.
a lot of companies do it. Like even Admiral is like the trading name, and there's like a secondary name that actually do the underwriting. It is quite common. But the other things you mentioned, not having a phone number, or sometimes a number that's always busy, and you think like, oh, there's probably like one person. That's like the whole company who takes all these calls. But yeah, in general though, it has gone up, man. And mine was like 450, 500, and this year just no change, bang, 700. And that was cheapest. I think that was Admiral as well. So. But that feature is really useful, man. The saving everything.
But have you ever...
Go on.
It is. Saving all the details is really helpful. But have you ever been with a company
it's
and
cheaper.
the renewal price
Never,
they've given you is
ever.
cheaper than
and
the
it's like you
year?
ring them and you say...
Because I've never
I want to
seen
stay
that.
with you. Incentivize it so I stay with you. Now, with other things, not car insurance, but other insurances, I think for our home insurance... We've stayed, I think, with a company for a few years, and actually, like the following year is a little bit more expensive, but like by £5-10. We're like, that's fine. We're not going to change it for £5-10. Just keep it, roll it on, everything set up.
Yeah.
But yeah, car insurance is like Shindy's, right?
Yeah.
So Shindy's Volvo with the current provider. She rang them, and they were like, "We can't insure you anymore." And she's like, "What does that mean?" Like for renewal, and they're like, "Oh, we put the search out, and that's how they work." And yeah, it didn't come back with anything. So it's like, what does that even mean, man? Nothing's changed. This doesn't make any sense, does it? So she's on the hunt now as well. I'm gonna go compare.
Car insurance is just, they always try and up it so you don't shop around. Sorry, they up it hoping you won't shop around, and you're then sitting there thinking,
why would I?
Was it worth shopping around? They're hoping you're just going to be like, fuck it, I'll pay it.
If it's minimal.
But now, if you've got everything saved on a compare site,
well,
just put
exactly.
it in.
It's a 5-minute job, man. So plus, if you do you use Go Compare, yeah. Did you buy the policy through Go Compare, which means?
No, I use Compare the Market.
Sorry, yeah, Compare the market. So with that one, you get your 2-for-1 cinema tickets as well for a year.
Well, even though, but I didn't buy with them. I bought through them. I use them as a vendor.
That's all I do every year. And sometimes even when I don't have something, I just buy what do I buy? Travel insurance from here to London for like £3. Qualifies to get my 2-for-1 cinema ticket for another year. You bought?
Hold on.
Yeah, just log in. Go to rewards.
I can now
go to rewards
tickets.
and just check it's been activated, and then you can get it on your phone as well. So now we have 2. I'm going to put Shindy's through as well, and then she'll have. So sometimes when we have like 4 people going cinema, we need like an extra 2. Then I've blown your mind, haven't I? You're like, I like very nice 2-for-1, baby. Oh, real, yeah, baby. Do you know?
Is it only with
every cinema, baby? Tuesday and Wednesday, every cinema.
Is it only with certain vendors? Even every man.
Yeah, every man. But so what it'll be is like, for example, let me example. So Stacy, yeah. So we went to Black Adam. We went on Tuesday, 2-for-1. We like the VIP tickets. So what you do is you get the 1 free ticket, but it's not the full value of the VIP. You get the full value of a normal ticket. So then for Shindy's ticket, for example, I paid like £1.50 or something like that. They'll be like that. So every man, for example, it might be like, we'll take off the cheaper ticket, or there'll be something, but still, man, like, from Shindy and I to go to the cinema on a Tuesday or Wednesday is costing us about £6. Right?
Tuesday or Wednesday. This could be.
I'll tell you, man. Like, there's a really good few weeks where, depending on what like shifts I'm doing, but generally Tuesday, Wednesday I tend to be in hospital. If I do an 8 till 4, like nothing makes me happy than doing an 8 till 4 shift and being in cinema for 4:30, catching a 4:30 showing, which is done for about 6:30, 7:15, then jumping into Nando's. And I'm like, mate, I've done work, I've done cinema, I've done food, and I've got chill time when I get back home. Dominated the day. Happy days for £6. That's banging. That's banging.
You know what?
Man,
I'm on board.
I'm telling you, man. These are the hacks. These are the hacks. Long gone are the days where I want to watch cinema at 9 o'clock anymore. Much prefer the earlier showing and enjoying my dinner and my evening and everything else afterwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So people, there you go. That was very useful. I think that's worth a like. I think that's worth a comment. You know, I think that's worth messaging on the poll that's in Spotify that you listen to. I think it's worth a review. You know, gotta be cheeky. But check out your car insurance stuff, man, and then check out the rewards you get with it. Because I didn't fucking know this, and I wouldn't have known this unless I spoke to Karan about it today. So check it out. Try and save money where you can. Go and enjoy life a little bit midweek. Don't live for the weekend.
That's it. That's the point.
There you go. Life hacks with Indian Doctor. All right, jump into the next segment. Sweet. It is time for the Dodgy Chronicles, and he's actually going to tell us something that happened to him, not about someone having their legs lengthened this week. So go on, Karan. Fill me in. What's been happening?
So, very common presenting complaint that most of us will have at some point in our lives is, drum roll please. Can I tap table now?
No.
Headaches.
Thank you.
Headaches, right?
Headache.
So, super common. Indy, you've had headache before?
Many times.
Many times, okay. What's your normal approach? You get the headache, what do? Tell me.
Tell the person to stop giving me a headache.
Oi, Sanj, can you stop nagging me, please?
Actually, it isn't her.
Oh,
it's actually not her.
This is Indy. It's never
normally.
Sanj is perfect. She could never do anything to make me a headache.
You know what? It's actually not her. It's normally my manager at work or someone at work is giving me a headache, or it's my family who like are trying to grab a hold of me in the worst possible time. Ever had that where like someone's trying to get a hold of you and they keep trying to ask you to do shit and you're like, I physically can't do this. I'm busy. Leave me alone. Yeah.
I'm thinking about that clip you showed me about universal remote fixing electronic devices for your family.
Thank you.
That clip you showed me?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
YouTube, isn't it?
Yes.
YouTube.
Ronnie Chung. Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Ronnie
That's
Chung.
it.
Yeah.
Like that. All right. Yes. Cool. Fine. So you've done that. You're trying to remove the stressor, let's say. Then what do? You've got a headache. What are you doing?
Pop a paracetamol, man. Drink some water.
Okay. Good. So this is one thing I actually do advocate. Now, it's not that as doctors we advocate that people should get addicted to painkillers, right? But the appropriate use of analgesia, what we call simple over-the-counter analgesics, paracetamol, ibuprofen, recommend. Somebody comes to hospital. I'm in pain. Have you taken painkillers? No. Why haven't you taken painkillers? Because I don't want to mask the pain. I'm like, bro, you come here. I'm going to give you the same thing. The first thing I'm going to ask you is, do you want a painkiller? Right? And then we can try and work out what's causing it. But use simple painkillers, right, if you can. So paracetamol. Now, are you a 1-tablet guy or 2-tablet guy?
Oh, got to be double strength, man. Let's go.
Really? Exactly, man. Like, again, some people in my family are like, no.
If you're allowed eight of those things a day,
right? Yeah.
And I'm only having one dose out of 4 times a day.
You're fine.
What dose? I count it as like an intake, like
mouthful, like one taking, one surful.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Give me 2, man. Let's go.
Exactly, man. But some people in my family are like, no. I don't want to get used to it. I'll take 1 tablet, and then if my headache's still there, I'll take another tablet. I'm like, just take 2, take a proper dose, and that'll be the end of it. Okay, and then we can up titrate properly.
Does 1 tablet actually do anything? Or
it might.
I reckon a 1 tablet thing is like placebo. That's it.
I think for some people it's fine. It probably does do the job. But, I'm the same as you. I take 1 gram, 2 paracetamol tablets. Fine. Then what do? So you're taking some painkillers. Then what do?
Try and go to sleep, man.
Okay. So yours is a type of headache which gets helped by sleep? Improves with sleep?
Yeah, if possible.
Right, cool.
Yeah.
Good. Look, you're doing all the right things, man. Are you tired? So do you need sleep? Are you hydrated? Drink some water. Take a painkiller, right? And have you got any other kind of symptoms that would suggest the cause of the headache? The problem with headaches, much like chest pain, which I've told you guys about before, is there are hundreds of different causes for headaches. Okay? And like with most conditions, there is shit that we worry about, like some really sinister stuff, and then there's really benign stuff that's annoying, painful, but it's not going to kill you. Headaches are much like that as well. The commonest causes of those kind of what we call benign headaches are what we call a migraine. So everyone talks about, I've got a migraine. It's a word that we use all the time. But an actual migraine is very different to what people say. Oh, I've got a migraine.
Yeah.
Because when someone says to me, patients,
Yeah,
do you get headaches? Go on. You've seen?
I've seen Sanj have a migraine, and her
Describe
migraines are
it to me.
bad.
Describe it.
Like, she needs to go to sleep. She can't stand up. She's in that much pain. That's a migraine. And I'm
That's a
like,
migraine.
well, you win. Right?
Yeah, well, you win. Yeah. And remember, team.
You win. Me and my shitty little headache, right? You win. Okay.
Sanj does not get unwell very often. So when she does, she goes 0 to 100, man. Yeah, like on holiday.
She means
0
it,
to 100.
She means it.
Food poisoning. Yeah.
Yeah.
So migraine, we might as well start talking about migraines. So migraines, guys, are generally a unilateral headache. They'll affect one side. They tend to be centered around your eye. People say it feels like there's pressure behind my eye or it's behind my eye. You get sensitivity to light, sound. So the best thing is a quiet, dark room. You can get some involvement with the eye as well. Might go a bit red, might get what we call that's called injection. You might get a bit of lacrimation, so tears coming out of it as well. But generally one-sided headache, but really bad, right? And but a lot of people, there tends to be a food trigger. So cheese and chocolate are common things that can set off migraines in people. But again, migraine is not a life-threatening headache. Very common, very painful. The other common ones, especially for office workers, are what we call tension headaches. So people say it feels like a band. A band is squeezing my head and it's kind of like here. That's to do with bad posture. So you're getting it because the wrong muscles are being used. Indy's got a question. What's your question?
Yeah, you get that pain from having a bug too tight as well. But yeah, carry on.
Yes. Yeah, no, yeah, that's just direct pressure, man. That's like, it's especially when you're growing up and say if you're getting your bug tied by somebody else. So when you tie a bug on yourself, you can kind of calibrate pressure. But when someone else is tying it, they kitchika, right? And they do it really tight, and then you're just like, I'm fine. I had it once when I was really young, where someone tied a bug on me, and then I actually ended up vomiting at the Gurdwara in the bathroom. Now, this is before I was like, God. Right? So this is before I was a doctor. And so I just took the bug off anyway. And then obviously the pressure went away. So that is one of the signs of, so if you have, let's say somebody falls over and smacks their head on a concrete, right? And they get bleeding inside their brain. If there's a special type of bleeding, which is called extradural, where the blood has nowhere to go because on one side you've got the skull, it starts going the other way. It starts compressing your brain. If that starts to happen, one of the symptoms is vomiting, right? So that bug-tight situation was basically mimicking that. It was so tight that it was then caused me to vomit. So yeah, I know exactly what you mean. So that's called a tension headache. Again, very common, not life-threatening, right? Now, on the other end of the spectrum, you have what everyone thinks they have when they come in with a headache, brain tumor, okay? Or what we call a space-occupying lesion, something growing in your head that shouldn't be in there. And when it presses on things it shouldn't press on, you can get a headache. So that's one.
Everyone thinks they have a brain tumor.
Yeah. Again, bloody WebMD, man. They read something. Oh, could it be a brain tumor? Could it be a brain tumor? And it's like, okay, I need to kind of like, bring you down a level. And then the other kind of things are kind of, bleeds in the brain. Those are obviously very, very serious, and we get concerned about that. So I had a lady who was sort of in her 60s, 70s, and she was on her iPad the day before, maybe 11 p.m., had what we call a sudden onset headache. So not like a gradual creep up on you, like bang, it's not there, and then it's there. And that's also very important when it comes to any symptoms, really. Like, if we're talking about shortness of breath, chest pain, headache, is this something that started gradually, or is it like bang, sudden, right? And she tried taking painkillers and had a really rough night, couldn't really sleep properly, and came in the next day. So I'm seeing this lady and I'm like, okay. Again, a number of things that can be causing a headache. And here's where I got a bit, not spooked. Oh, what's the right word? Here's where I got concerned. So I was doing her neurological examination. As part of that, there's a test called the finger nose test, right? So this is a test of coordination. So the back part of your brain is called the cerebellum. Okay, the cerebellum has a lot to do with coordination. So for example, Indy, if you close your eyes right now on the podcast and I got you to raise your arm in the air, even though your eyes are closed, you know exactly where your arms are in time and space. You just know, right? And if you open your eyes now, your hands haven't changed position. Okay, as in they're just there. There is a condition called pseudoacidosis where what you do is you get the patients to put their hands out, you ask them to close their eyes, and actually their hands start moving up, and then they open their eyes and realize they're up, and they put them down. But when they're closing their eyes, they have no feedback. There's no feedback coming to the cerebellum to tell them where their hands are in time and space, so they start moving. These are things we take for granted, right? So anyway, this back part of the brain, the cerebellum, one of the tests we do is what we call the finger nose test. So what I will do, actually you could help me on this. So Indy, if you put your finger on, take your right index finger and place it on the tip of your nose. Yeah, and place it on the tip of your nose. So that's what I've done there is I've actually given you a command to see if you can understand the command. That's a secondary test I'm doing, but you've done that correctly. Then what I will say is I'll put my finger out and say, right now, can you touch your finger to the end of my finger? So you'll come forward with your finger. So move it forward, Indy. And you'll touch my finger back to your nose. Yeah, back to your nose. Go back to your nose now. Back to my finger. So go back to my finger and back to your nose. And keep doing that as quick as you can. Right, so then what I will do is I will change the depth. Yeah, exactly. And I'll change the depth to see, are you hitting the point? Now, normally, a positive sign, you can stop 90. A positive sign is when people start missing. And this is called pass pointing. So their depth perception is off, which indicates there's a problem in the cerebellum. Otherwise, people can hit each point. It's fine. No issues, right? Here's what happened when I was doing this with this lady. My finger was here. She wasn't just missing. It was like a complete different direction. Oh shit, you said the mic. That was bad. Right? And then at this point, I'm like, I didn't hit the table, I hit the mic just once. And then I was like, can you see my fingers? You know, like when a doctor says that, can you see my fingers? You're like, oh shit. Right? So then I get to start counting fingers. How many fingers? She gets it wrong. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay. There's something going on here. Anyway, we proceed to do a CT scan. So CT scan is the quickest form of a scan. So you'll be aware there's what we call CTs and MRIs. Think of like an MRI like 4K, think of a CT like full HD, but the MRI takes a lot longer, not as many scanners. CT is looking for big things, yeah? So we don't miss it, it's quick and we can get the big things. So her scan comes back and there's a massive bleed in the brain. That's the cause of the headache, right? And it's pressing on areas of the brain. So at the back is what we have, what we call the, I've told you about cerebellum, but just in front of that, you have what we call the occipital lobe, which is all to do with vision. Okay. And so the reason why she's not seeing well is because that's been affected, because the bleeding is now pressing on that site. So this lady, her blood pressure was also very high. Okay. So when I then had to speak to our regional center, which is the Queen Elizabeth, to speak to what we call the neurosurgeons, so people who operate on the brain. And
yeah,
the basic question I'm asking is, somebody's got a bleed in the brain, do you need to do a neurosurgical operation? For example, make a hole in the skull and drain some of the blood. That kind of level of operation, okay? They're like, okay, we'll get back to you. We're looking at the images. So the images are linked to them, so they start having a look at it. And they're asking, how is the patient? So, the patient, obviously, the vision's affected, but she can still understand me. She's speaking fine. She's got full control of her arms and legs. Okay. But it's likely she's had what we call a hemorrhagic stroke. So it's two types of stroke. One type of stroke is where you have a blockage. Blood supply can't get somewhere. Because the blood supply can't get somewhere, everything after that then dies. That's a stroke. So death of brain tissue because of blockage is what we call a ischemic stroke, blockage-based stroke. Or you have a hemorrhagic stroke, which is bleeding, too much bleeding everywhere. And this has probably happened because the blood pressure was too high. She has undiagnosed hypertension. Now, obviously, we've covered blood pressure in the past and why it's so important now.
Yeah.
Like I said, so generally, uncontrolled high blood pressure for long periods of time will lead to things over time, like heart attacks and strokes. This is an example of it. Now, although it's probably been high for a while, but it's not been tested. She's not had reason. She's probably not had any symptoms, but it's super high. And this was the effect. So somebody had a bleed in the brain because of such a high blood pressure. So now I don't tell people this.
Was she all right?
Yeah, she was okay. So I don't tell this to people to scare them. And obviously not every headache is going to be this. But like with any medical condition, it's all about the context, right? So the thing that concerned me was the headache was disproportionate. She's not a patient. She had very few medical conditions. She's not somebody who presents to hospital. She's not like the boy who cried wolf who comes in every week with a different symptom, right? She'd taken a good amount of analgesia. That's the other thing, right? So she'd taken like the 1 gram of paracetamol 4 times a day. She'd taken ibuprofen regularly. So she's maxed out on simple analgesias, and that's not touching it. right? And then the red flag was really, oh, you know, you're missing my finger by miles. I was like, there is something going on here. Yeah. So headaches, just to summarize, there are worrying headaches and there are simple headaches. Okay. The things we worry about when it comes to headaches is if you have a headache that's causing a loss of power in your arms or legs, change in your vision, vomiting, when you walk, it feels like you're drunk and staggering around. That's what cause for concern. Yeah. That's when we really want to see you. Migraine is an overused word. So if somebody says to me they've got a migraine, I will say, have you formally been diagnosed with a migraine? Because if you have, you'll be on something to stop the migraines happening, a prophylactic. And also you'll have something for when the actual migraine starts to help you manage that situation. Any questions, Indy?
Whew. No, that's a lot, man. That's very informative.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there's so many nuances to a headache.
Well, being a doctor, mate. Being a doctor, you think it's easy. You think Dr. Jazz just goes there and goes, "Hi, I'm Dr. Jazz. Yeah, I've got a podcast, so I'm gonna tell you a few things, and then I'll impress Indy." No, mate. Go every day, life on the line. Got to use my brain continuously. Got to problem solve. That's what being a doctor is. And they have to deal with your shit. Don't bang on the table, mate. Don't bang on the table. It distorts the audio.
It's not fucking me saying it. It's the guest saying it.
It's the guest saying it. You're saying it. Riz is saying it. Everyone's
saying it.
Everyone's saying it. Oh, man.
I love how you'll listen to a stranger, but you won't fucking listen to me or the editor. All right, thank you. On that note, people, I will leave it there. Please do leave us a message, like, comment, share, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts. Drop us some messages of segments you want us to cover. Any questions you want us to cover?
Give us questions.
Have questions?
Yes. I look, if you want medical questions answered, ask us questions. If you want life questions answered, you want to know about how to deal with family members, you want life advice, you want to know how to get 2-for-1 cinema tickets, compare to themeerkat.com. I will help you with that. Okay.
He will. There, he banged the table. You hear that? There you go.
I didn't touch it.
Right.
I didn't touch it.
You just hit the table. Listen back to the recording. End of the episode, like 10 seconds left. You just hit the table. Okay. Thank you.
So unconscious. I nearly made it. Nearly did.
Nearly did. Next time. All right. Catch you guys in a bit.